And welcome back to Creative Thinkers. My name is Miguel Valenzuela, and as always, we bring you somebody special. But today we're going to look at artwork in a little bit different way. Today we have Coach Paulina Dominguez. Paulina, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're super excited because you are an individual that I have seen develop in a way that I haven't seen anybody else develop. And what I mean by that is that you have actually sculpted your body into something pretty amazing. And that's what I want to talk about, because I'm not in that position right now, and I want the audience to kind of see what exactly it takes to get into a place that you are in, if they choose to, you know? So tell us a little bit about your journey.
So I've been into strength training for about 12, 13 years. Bodybuilding and actually competing, I saw something I could not do. I looked at it as something impossible most people do. So I got into my journey about 3 years ago. I mean, you saw me, the transformation and whatnot. So it's been quite a journey. So it's just a lifestyle change, consistency that you have to go through, and it's just time. Time's your best friend at that point. But you say it's where I started to where I want to. I guess you're never complacent. That's the thing about bodybuilding too. Mm-hmm. You're constantly working on details. Mm-hmm. But it's something that I hopefully continue and just, until I can.
Right. And you can only do what you can do, right? Until you can't do it any longer. Yeah. But one of the things that really impressed me, for me anyways, and I'm a layman in terms of body sculpting, is I think the amount of time that it took for you to transform. But now you're telling me that one of your clients actually has transformed in the same way in a much shorter period of time. But kind of take us through what it takes to actually build a body up from, having a typical normal body or a dad bod, as you talked about. What is it? Is it only food? Is it only strength training? Is it building muscle in a specific way? Is it a group of all of those things?
Yes.
Kind of take us step by step.
So it's a group of all those things. It's a lifestyle change at that point. You have to take a 360 and go from eating burgers or McDonald's to just eating at home. Something healthier. You cut out certain fats, you eat specific proteins, specific carbs. You just can't be eating anything you want. If you want to really break it down to detail, it's macros, protein, fats, carbs.
And those are those little meals that I see that are like prepped, right?
Yes.
Those little tiny meals, and it's like a little piece of fish and then a little piece of rice or something like that.
So to go to that extreme level of we call it prep. We measure everything down to the gram on a scale.
Oh, really?
It's that detailed. Yeah.
Okay. How does that help?
It's specific calories you're trying to meet, specific macros, protein. So it helps you keep control of what you're eating, and how much you're consuming per day. That's how we track. That makes the difference in the world, because we just can't sit down and eat like pieces of chicken, because we might overdo it. So we're overeating at that point, or undereating. So we measure everything: rice, chicken, whatever you're consuming at that point. So it comes down, and that's where it's different. That sets us aside from everybody else as far as just following, like a fitness regimen and whatnot. So it's just measuring your food and sticking to it, basically, down to the last gram.
So like me, for example, I'll eat McDonald's, and then maybe I'll go out and work out for half an hour or something like that. Treadmill, walk slowly, run a little bit. It's very different from what you do, right?
Yes.
How is it different? Like my workout in comparison to your workout?
So we follow specific workout routines, specific training plans and whatnot. So it also depends on what physique you're trying to achieve. Like in your case, if you're hitting the gym, you're going 30 minutes lifting some weights. You eat McDonald's, that's more like a lifestyle client or lifestyle person, versus somebody that's prepping to compete in bodybuilding. So we can't really go out and eat that burger, because what is it going to do? It's going to throw everything off. You're overeating. It's not good food. You're not going to feel well. So we use that, protein to build muscle and fuel as well. So
same thing, like I eat at McDonald's, for example, and you eat a piece of salmon and some rice. Yeah. So that fuel is different from my fuel as well. Yeah. Which will also help you build quicker.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I've noticed in a couple of other people that I've seen online, that they build very, very quickly, in the sense that, for me anyways, as a layman, once again, I'm not really sure how people build muscle because I just don't really know. But I do see the connection to art. And when I see them go from, it looks like they're lifting a lot of weights and, they look pretty fit, to all of a sudden being like this really cut, sculpted body, how does that happen? Because that seems incredible to me.
Consistency. Also, when you don't know, like you said, like if you're a beginner, a lot of people hire coaches. So that way we can teach you, like, hey, you need to eat well, you need to eat this instead of that, and you need to lift this way, follow this plan. That's where you start seeing those changes. So even coaches have coaches still. That way we can,
Okay.
You have that accountability. Coach is going to follow up with you and say, hey, how's your weight fluctuation based on what you're trying to achieve? Some people, believe it or not, it's not just like, I want to build all this muscle. We have people that want to gain weight. So
you can gain weight by building muscle as well then?
Well, yeah.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, or somebody that's really slim, they want to gain weight. And therefore I up their calories and I'm like, hey, you can eat 3 times more than this person. So it's,
okay.
Yeah, so it's a tailored plan, to depending on the person's goals, So it all depends on the person. Some people just I want to get a little bit toned and that's it. I'm like, okay, let's do that. And obviously if someone that's going to go into bodybuilding itself, then that's where it gets much more serious as far as the diet and what you have to follow and whatnot. So.
And one of the questions that I had for you earlier, because we have this pre-interview discussion, right, is what are you most proud of? And one of the things that you mentioned was actually getting on stage. I know stage fright is something that's just unbelievable for a lot of people to kind of go through. What did it take for you to actually do that? And what was the experience like for the first time?
It was amazing. A lot of people, competitors, especially in the amateur division, they either hate it or love it. They say, hey, you're up on stage and I love it. I'm going to do it again. Let's go. Get more motivated. You want, go back with a better version of yourself, or you absolutely hate it. I hated it. I'm never doing it again. But it's still like an accomplishment. You got up there and, you competed. So I consider myself to be a little bit more, I don't know if it's just me or just everybody, stage fright. So just getting up there and getting the judges to they're judging every inch of you up there. So I think that's been my greatest achievement, is just getting up there, So it's never too late to start either. So I did it at 35.
Wow, that's incredible.
I wish I would have started much younger, but again, bodybuilding is a very expensive sport too. So not a lot of people, I feel like even the healthy lifestyle, it's very expensive as well, because it requires a lot of food, healthy food, a lot of protein, versus just getting like a $1 burger at McDonald's.
Right. And I think all aspects of what you do are different from what most people in general do, which is another thing. Most people in general don't feel like art and creativity are something, or things that are parts of their everyday life, right? In the same respect, bodybuilding isn't part of everybody's life day to day. What is your connection, or how do you see what art is in relation to what you're doing? I believe bodybuilding is really creative because you have to meticulously follow a specific plan, and also the workout routines as you're sculpting your body. And I think that's like it's like you're a human form of a canvas. Okay. Because you're building yourself up to it. You see the transformation. You're seeing those changes, either if it's week by week or month to month or year by year. So that's how what better form of art is that, So in your own body, it's fascinating, I think. So not only that, it comes down to where you have to come up with the whole posing routine. That itself is an art as well, because you don't just go up there and just, So you can't just walk up.
No.
Do they teach you that? Because that's one of the things that we're doing right now, is we're actually recording here at EPCC. And one of the things that's of utmost importance to us is education, right? When you started doing this, did you have to educate yourself?
Yes.
In which way? You
have to just do your research constantly. You have, again, coaches.
Which are equivalent to teachers, right?
Right, yeah. So I had my posing coach, Mandy. So she's great at what she does. She also competes as well.
Okay.
So you just pretty much pair up with a coach, and then you have your nutrition coach as well, and then you even have your training coach sometimes as well.
Oh wow, 3 coaches.
So
Jeez.
it's just something that you have to do full time at this point. And so that's something that you have to, like I said, I mean, getting your own coaches helps you develop as an athlete as well. So I think it's a must. I think it would be really difficult just to go do it on your own, because
Tell me about it.
Yeah. You need a little
That's
guidance.
true.
Yeah, you need a little bit of a guidance, so that way you at least know what you're doing, especially when it comes down to competing, because it's, I mean, week by week you see these changes in diet, nutrition, the way you're training as well. So it consumes your whole life at that point.
And that's one of the questions that I had, because as an artist, when you create something, right? Like right now I'm working on a huge mural, but when you start creating something, you have to figure out what you're going to do. You can't just start throwing paint on the wall, right?
Right.
You could, but that's not the right approach, right? When you start working out, you almost have to have some sort of a timeline or a narrative that's going on in order for you to go from point A to point B. How was that transition for you, going from somebody that goes and works out, I don't know, 3 times a week, to making this a lifestyle? Because now I know that you're actually coaching, and then we'll get into that momentarily.
Yes.
But what was that transition like?
So that transition, it like you said, it's a timeline. So I was in this timeline where you set a date and you say, you know what, I want to start prepping myself to compete. So it depends how far in you're into, you know, your what you're looking like at that point, where you're starting from. There's a lot of
coach can tell you. They'll look at you and say, you got another 6 months to go, or you got another year to go.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you know more or less, you know, as you're sculpting yourself, even it comes up to yourself, you say, you know what, I'm not ready. That happened to me as well. So I wasn't ready probably as fast as I thought or I wanted to be. I was anxious, just like, I'm like, I want to do it, but it took time. So to build muscle maturity, muscle mass takes time. So at that point, you take it upon yourself and say, you know what, I still got another, let's just say 4 months to go. I got another 6 months to go. So the more you start doing it, the shorter your preps are. So that way you already have that muscle maturity, you start building up, you get your feedback from judges and say, I need to work on more, let's just say, more shoulders this time around. So that's where you switch up your routine. And you say, you know what, I'm going to start working more on shoulders. I'm going to start working more on legs.
Oh, okay.
And then you start just hitting that for a couple months. And then that's where it comes into like, so many weeks out. And that's where so it's a lot of fluctuation with like up and down, gaining weight, and then prep, and then peak week, which is the week where you compete. So
wow, that's crazy. That's incredible, actually. Just the whole journey that I've seen through you is just amazing. But one of the other things that we talk about a lot here on the show is art, right? When we talk about art and creativity, we have to make a connection to like an artist. For example, let's take Michelangelo, right? Michelangelo sculpted David, very, very famous sculpture. When you started, or your coach, I guess, because now you're a coach and you're, I guess, helping people sculpt themselves, do you approach it from the standpoint of aesthetics?
No, not everybody.
Okay.
Not everybody. It all depends on the person's needs or the person's goals. That's the first thing I ask. I do like a little pre-screening or interview, and I ask them, you know, what do you want to get out of this? Are you doing it just to feel better? A lot of people don't just start from scratch. Hey, I haven't stepped in a gym in 30 years.
Right.
What do I got to do? And I'm really big on form, not getting hurt at the gym, and teaching. You know, I just don't tell them, you know, hey, just pull this bar, or just do this with this dumbbell. I like to teach them the why and how. You know, and then there's people that say, you know what, I want to compete. Let's do it. Can you help prep me? Sure, let's do it.
Some people start off not being like me and say all of a sudden, yeah, I want to compete.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's not, I've been working out for a while all the time.
Right.
To then go into competing. You can just say, oh, you know what?
Right.
Help me out.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. So you can start from scratch. I mean, you'll be surprised how the body, like you say, it's a journey. So a lot of people say, hey, it's something I've always wanted to do. Let me try it. Why not? You know, and obviously I do tell them, hey, it's a whole lifestyle change that you have to do. It's like, you know, can I go eat this ice cream? No. You know, it's like, so it's a very strict regimen that you have to follow.
And another thing that you mentioned earlier was to a certain degree, there's some psychological aspects associated to it.
Yes.
Can you take us through that journey? Because I know that some people are like, well, when I was a kid, I had some issues, or maybe I didn't feel happy enough about myself.
Right.
How do these people, or how does this thing that you do help those individuals out? Because I know it has a lot to do with self-esteem too.
Yes, and you know what? You would be surprised as to how many people have, I would feel like, develop body dysmorphia.
Mm-hmm.
Even that's really big in bodybuilding too. I feel like, because you're never satisfied with how you look. Obviously, you want to look better and better. And other people that have never done it, they're like, hey, you look amazing.
Yeah.
So we do get a lot of people that see you already at this level or at this aesthetic, and I tell them, hey, I started from scratch too. So that helps them build up their self-esteem. That helps them get started. And a lot of people are actually intimidated by gyms, or let alone like being coached by a bodybuilder. And I tell them, hey, we've all started somewhere, all of us. So it's amazing to also see people's self-esteem, or come out of depression, or like a dark place, and the gym essentially becomes their sanctuary.
How does that work? How does that help them?
So it's two different things. It's like it becomes their sanctuary. Not only that, it's the science behind it is when you exercise, you release endorphins.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously that helps you release.
Just like in art, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pretty much. It's like when you listen to music and whatnot, it relaxes you. You feel less stressed. A lot of people just go work out just for that reason alone, just to release that stress, feel better about themselves, and not just the aesthetic, but mentally. They want to get better, and I've seen it happen. I've seen people that come in really depressed, and they're just a complete different person now. So.
And not to get into details with depression, but these individuals come in because of situations, probably, right?
Right.
And then is it something that takes them away from that situation, or it helps them deal with that situation?
It can be both. I mean, I think it depends on that specific situation that they're in. Like I said, people go out there and as they're training with you, I feel like they feel it's like their safe zone at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So some people open up a lot about things. A lot of people don't. I'm just there to listen, So I have seen people remove themselves from certain situations and do better for themselves.
Oh, wow.
Maybe it's self-esteem.
And now that I think about it, it's also a release, right? When you're exercising, you're releasing toxins and negative energy, things like that, which is also like totally other level that one wouldn't even think that was, right?
Yeah.
So you actually come from what I believe to be a very creative family. I know your aunts, and I know your sister, and we've had many conversations. But one of the things that I feel is most attractive about the mindset that all of you guys have is that you guys have a very open mind to think differently, to think outside the box. And obviously the show's called Creative Thinkers. So how does that incorporate into your accomplishments throughout life?
I consider myself to have always been creative. My sister, she knows more than anything. Ironically, I used to paint a lot.
Did you? What happened?
Life.
Do tell.
I got too busy.
First, what got you into painting?
I was always good at drawing and painting since I was little.
Really?
My first job, I think I was 13. I was in Salt Lake City, Utah. And a local artist hired me to help her paint a huge mural. It was a big project. I need to show you. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I was really into painting, and then I think that's the part of the artistic part of me that correlates with bodybuilding as well, because I do think it's a form of art that a lot of people, like I said, see it as like, it's a bunch of meatheads that are just like lifting weights, but it's a lifestyle. It's just not anybody can do it. And the fact that you're sculpting yourself daily, if not, depending on the journey, like if it's 3 months, 6 months, that alone is an art. And I never imagined I would be doing that. So it's something that I did not even think I can do. So that's a big accomplishment.
Do you think that the open-mindedness helped you accomplish that?
It did, because you have to have an open mind to being able to do that. You have to have an open mind as well as the culture of it. Your family does too. Like you said, we're creative. So there's a lot of people that, they don't see themselves doing that. So having an open mind and also being able to let yourself grow as well, so that's the whole correlation with the open mind. You just have to be open to criticism, to just everything at this point. So.
And you actually didn't want to be a bodybuilder when you were young. What was the mindset that got you into actually wanting to do it? Did you work out for 10 years and at some point you're like, yeah, I got to take this to the next level, or what happened?
No, you know what? I was one of those gym goers that was just at the gym to, I was trying to look good and try to maintain, and I've been in all shapes and sizes. And bodybuilding, you see on Instagram, like all these bodybuilders and all these fitness models, and then mostly I just found it fascinating, but I saw it as something I could never do myself. I said, I don't have time. How do they do it? How is it done? And it's just something that kind of like something where you always wanted to do it, but it's something that you didn't believe you could do.
Did you keep from doing it for many years, even though it was in your mind at some point?
I did.
Really? Okay.
I did, because I saw it as impossible.
So so something must have clicked at some point then.
Yes.
What was that?
My first coach. So
But why did you even get that first coach?
Because I was looking for a coach to push me a little bit more just in training, push me a little bit more, kick my butt a little bit more at the gym. And this coach, she's back then I think she was like 46, 47. She said, hey, I'll train you, but why don't you compete? So I said, what do you mean compete? I have kids, I have a family, I don't have time, I don't know how. It just
seemed impossible at that point.
Right, and she's the one that pretty much got me into that. She said, what do you mean you can't do it? You can do it. Let's do it.
I've seen it, you can do it. And now you've come full circle because now you're a coach.
Yes.
Give us just a brief overview of how that came about and what you do.
So I started the journey, I was under her wing for about 1.5 years, started learning, self-teaching basically. So been doing this for a while. I've been around this for quite a bit, and it's something that I always liked. So it's just pretty much where I developed a passion for all of this, not only just bodybuilding, but helping people in mentally, physically as a coach, So that's how I started developing. I just started blowing up from there. So
did it just seem like a natural transition?
Yes, it actually did. It really did. It doesn't feel like work at all. It's I start my mornings at 3:45 a.m. I have clients at that time showing up 4 a.m. and I'm more than happy to show up, and it doesn't feel like work at all. So
wow.
Yeah, if anything, I feel like my clients now fulfill me, and it's just seeing them happy, like hyped up at the gym, and then just leaving happy and whatnot, and then seeing their transformations. That itself is it fulfills me, aside from the bodybuilding sport.
And I always correlate everything to art, right? I'm a creative guy, I do all these creative things, and I try to make those connections with everything around me, right? And the more that I hear you speak about this, the more that I think, oh, this thing that she's doing is art, right? You're creating art pieces now, whereas first you started creating your own work of art, which was you. Now you're helping other people create works of art, which I think is incredible, because not everybody has the ability or talent to do something like that. What is your opinion on what you're doing now?
You know what, you just lit up a little light bulb. I never thought of it that way, because it's like you said, at first you start with yourself. Now you're creating little canvases with your clients, and that's just, it's amazing. I think that's just I think that's the best part of this, is coaching. And itself, it's still bodybuilding, they're still sculpting themselves, and whatnot. So it's amazing, it's fascinating.
That's really cool. That's one of the things that I actually teach in my classes, is how to draw the body, right? But you're actually doing it. You're
physically,
actually
literally,
you're physically doing it, which I think is amazing. Where do you help people out? How do they get a hold of you? What kinds of places to do that?
I'm East and West El Paso. I train at 2 different gyms, Sun City Athletic Club on the west side, Infamous Muscle and Fitness on the east side. And the easiest way would be through Instagram. The handle is Body Fitness by Paulina.
Okay.
By Paulina, and that's the easiest way. Just send me a message, follow me, and like I said, you don't have to be at a expert level to start. You start from scratch. We all started there. So.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And one of the things that I always ask all of my guests is, do you have any piece of advice that you can give to our viewers that may be able to help their lives in some way?
It's just getting started. It doesn't matter if it's day one, it doesn't matter if Christmas is coming up. It's just taking those little steps to get to that point. I don't expect you to, go from 0 to 100, but the fact that you're already setting foot in a gym or reaching out to a coach, that itself it's a huge step to making those lifestyle changes.
And do you think that that only correlates to bodybuilding, or do you think that people can actually use that in any aspect of their life?
Any aspect, just for mental health, obviously physical health as well. It has so many benefits to it. It's a must. I feel like everybody should get out there and do some form of exercise. So it's a must. It gives you more life, longevity, and everything in every aspect. So
and if that's not important, I don't know what is, right?
Exactly.
Who doesn't want to keep living, right?
Exactly. We want to expand your lifespan. Obviously.
That's true. Paulina, I want to thank you for taking the time out to talk to us today. You've been very insightful, and you brought this kind of connection between what it is to sculpt your body into the art world for us.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed yourself.
I did. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And I want to thank everybody for joining us once again. My name is Miguel Valenzuela, and if you guys want to contact me with somebody you think that I might be able to interview, somebody exciting and creative, you guys can reach me at mvalen31@epcc.edu. I also invite you guys to visit us on Instagram, or you guys can visit us on YouTube on our special channel. Thank you very much, and we'll see you guys next time.